I totally want to say Happy Tuesday, but it's not telling us yet. And now it's telling us. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you.
You too.
Thanks. Welcome back to Bravo Music Academy. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Miss Christie. I am joined by the wonderful Miss Mia today. Thanks so much for taking time after your lesson. We just finished up our lesson. We have our Halloween recital coming up, and just next week, actually.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's next
Very
week
soon.
already. And we're doing final touches on everything. Our recital is going to be a virtual recital. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. So if you're joining us live, please say hello. We'd love to chat with you a little bit today. We have a really cool topic that is something that's been talked about quite a lot here at the Academy today. But before we dive into that, I just want to share with you very quickly about our new classes that we have going on. I don't know if I've talked to you about it.
No.
But I don't think I have. We are doing seasonal group classes for kids. And we have a Halloween class. We're calling it Halloween Howl. It's going to be a really, really fun time. We're having 3 classes. One is on Monday the 19th, which is this coming Monday. And then we have 2 scheduled for Thursday, October 29th. And this is in response to parents who have asked to have some sort of seasonal activity for their kids, because a lot of things are shut down right now, right? I bet there's a lot of things that you do this time of year that you're just not doing.
Yeah, definitely. Like I would be, our school would have like this trunk or treat, and they're not having it this year.
So. Yeah. So we wanted to provide students and children of even not our students here at the Academy the opportunity to get together, make music together, but also celebrate the season together. And we're going to be doing this in October, November, and December. So I will put a link down below for you. You can check that out if you're interested. You can sign your kids up. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go for it. 4 questions that you can ask yourself to help you determine your lesson length. So most of the time when people think about music lessons, piano lessons, guitar lessons, voice lessons, ukulele lessons, whatever, they think about the standard 30-minute lesson. That's where you started, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people start with 30-minute lessons, but you don't have to. You don't have to be stuck in that one time frame. So these are 4 questions that you can consider when you are deciding how long your lesson should be. The first question is, how old is the student? This is probably, I think, the most important question.
Yeah.
Because if you have a little one, and by little one, I mean 5 years or under, because we do teach 3-year-olds piano here. I think you were 3 when you started. You were in preschool.
So right before kindergarten.
Yeah, so is Gianna. So little ones, totally, 100%. 30 minutes, yes. Yeah. Anything longer, it's just too much on them.
Yeah, they'll get impatient or
distracted.
Yeah, definitely.
Although you were not a distracted child. You were probably the most serious little kid I ever taught. Maybe we'll get into that another time. But if you have a kid who's older than 6 or 7 even, you can consider a 45-minute lesson. It doesn't matter their level. If they have the ability to sit there and focus and play music, here we do more than just sitting at the piano or at your instrument. We do games, we do other activities. We call them off-the-bench activities. We have other programs. So it's not 45 minutes sitting playing the entire time. It's learning and growing and playing in a different way. I think that's a good way to put it, right? You're playing, but you're not digging into the keys all the time.
Yeah, you're like learning in a different way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how old is the student? That's the first question to ask yourself. Do you want to read or ask the second question?
Mm-hmm. Okay. How advanced are you? So like how advanced?
There are different levels, right?
Yeah.
You can start out as a total brand new beginner and still need or want a 45 or 60-minute lesson.
Mm-hmm.
You could be more advanced, but still only feel the desire for a 30 or 45-minute lesson.
Yeah.
It just depends.
Depends on the person.
Right? It depends on the person's personality. And that brings us to number 3, which is learning style, or your learning needs. So ask yourself, what are my learning needs?
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I like to take my time when I'm learning stuff. I like to
Yes.
really know that I know what I'm doing before I go. So I had longer lessons from a really early time. And Mia, you're kind of the same way.
Yes, I would definitely say that I take my time learning something.
Yeah. And we go through things over and over. And because we have a 45-minute lesson, Mia and I do a 45-minute lesson. I think we switched over to that several years ago.
Yes,
I
that was a
think
long
you were
time
like
ago.
7 or 8.
Mm-hmm. I feel so long.
I know, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's really up to your learning desires, your learning needs, and your teacher's teaching style.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a person who you hear it once and you've got it and that's fine, then you could probably handle a shorter lesson.
30 minutes.
Yeah, but if you're someone who wants to be able to go over things, definitely go consider the longer lesson, for sure. Wow, we are flying through these.
Yeah.
This is great. Do you have anything to add to anything before we get to the last one?
No, not that I think of right now.
Okay.
Maybe later.
Maybe later? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So most of what we've talked about so far has been if you are a new student, you're just starting lessons. This last question is geared more towards those who have been taking lessons for a little while, but have just stayed with the same amount of time. And this question is, are you running out of time?
That's a big one.
It's a really big one. It is the number one reason my students add time to their lessons. And that's what happened to us.
Yes.
We were constantly rushing.
Mm-hmm.
Rushing, that's a huge one. If you're rushing to finish something before your 30 minutes is up, it's time to consider a longer lesson. If you're not getting all of your questions answered, that was your big thing.
Mm-hmm.
You were a question kid.
Yes, I answer lots. I mean, I ask lots of questions.
You also answer lots too, though. You do, because I ask you a lot of questions. And that's my teaching style. If a student asks me a question and I know they know the answer, I ask them the question back. And I make you think.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes thinking takes some time. So if you're running out of time, if you're rushing through things, if you're not doing all the things you want to do, consider a longer lesson.
Mm-hmm. And I definitely think don't be afraid to speak up to your parent or guardian or your teacher if you're running out of time and you're not grasping the concepts. Don't be afraid to tell your teacher because they get it and they know. They probably know too.
Totally. Yep. And I just thought of a 5th bonus one. This is totally, we have our plan. I'll even show you our little cheat sheet. We have our plan right here. And I just thought, as you were talking, I just thought of one. If you aren't sure what you need to practice at home, you might need a longer lesson.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yours was kind of a combination of 4 and 5. Because even though we've always kept a practice log, we weren't reviewing things enough in the lesson for you to know what to practice when I wasn't there and how to practice it. That was a big thing too.
Yes.
So there's your bonus tip. If you don't know what to do or how to do it when your teacher's not there, you probably need more time to go over it during the lesson.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like that was me too.
Yeah. Yeah. Gianna and I, we just ran out of time all the time. But you were that combination for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Do you have anything else to add before we do a really quick recap?
No.
Not
that I can think.
All right. So here are your bonus 5 questions to ask yourself when considering how long your lesson should be. 1, how old is the student? If they're younger, like under 5, consider a shorter lesson. If they're not and they're over, 6, 7?
Yeah.
I bet they could handle more than that. So keep an open mind for that.
Okay. I think I have something else to say.
Go ahead.
Real quick. I also feel like even if you're just older and I feel like when people think, oh, you're a teenager and you're in your 20s and you're just starting to play an instrument, you think, oh, I need a longer lesson just because I'm older, but that's not necessarily the case.
This is very true. most people, most adults that we have who call asking for lessons for themselves, they will say, I think I want a 60-minute lesson. And I'll say, okay, but you might want to consider 45 minutes because I think 95%, maybe even all of them, I should double check that. Almost all of our adult students take 45-minute lessons. They're just happier with it. It's enough time to get all of their questions answered, to go over everything that they've worked on, and give some time to work on new stuff.
Yeah.
That was an excellent point. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, real recap this time. Here we go. How old is the student? Younger, shorter, older, longer is an option, but it's not necessary. The second question is, how advanced is the student? If you're coming in with a new teacher and you're more advanced, you could consider a longer lesson. If you're a beginner coming into a new teacher, you could consider a longer lesson. Either way, though, you could also consider a shorter lesson, right? The options are open to you. What are your learning needs? If you need more time, then definitely go for it. But if you're a fast learner and you can get it all done in 30 minutes, that's not a bad thing either, right?
Yeah.
Definitely a good thing. The fourth one is, are you running out of time in your current lessons? And that's a situation that we are in again, because we totally could have done so much more, but we had to stop because we were out of time and we had to jump on here.
Yeah.
And the last bonus question to ask yourself is, do you know what to practice when you get home? If you don't, even if everything's written down and you're still not sure, talk to your teacher. Talk to your parents. Just talk. Get it all out there. That's the biggest takeaway that you have. I will be very pleased with this. Do you have anything else to add today? No? Thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
I love having you guys here. I love having all my students here whenever anyone joins me. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. I have to let Mia go and I have to jump into my next lesson. But we will see you next week. And until then, I hope you have an awesome and musical week.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.